And here we are. Hello everyone. It is Tuesday still and it's 12:30. So let's start another live session. I hope you're all well. It's gotten very mild, so it doesn't actually feel all that Christmassy, but anyhow, it's wonderful and it's Christmas week. So I was asked to talk about digestion, and digestion is a really big topic, of course. So I thought I'll start at the beginning. First of all, our digestive system begins at the mouth and ends the other end at the anus. And if we were born healthy without any complications, then we were born with a perfect digestive system. And of course, babies have a tough time the first 3 to 4 months until everything regulates itself and gets used to the new surroundings and out of the mother's womb and so on, and they often have wind, and so we help with the probiotics and so on to colonize their colon. But what I thought I'll do with you today is let's just look at what the digestive system actually is made up of. And I wanted to show you this chart here. So that's this morning when I was looking at it, someone said to me, "Oh dear God, what are you looking at?" And we're simply looking at all our insides, because we're all made up of these organs. So let's have a closer look. Let's start actually with the mouth. So digestion is back again. Okay, start even a step further. The digestive system, and I printed myself a couple of cheat sheets. What digestion means is ultimately the process which breaks down food into substances that can be absorbed and used by the body for energy, growth, repair, and heat. So if you could take a moment and actually check in with yourself, how are you feeling right now? How is your digestive system feeling right now? Is it feeling completely, is there no feeling? So everything seems to be okay? Are you feeling maybe bloated, a little bit uncomfortable? What other feelings do we experience? Trapped wind is very painful. Feeling of fullness, feeling of emptiness, really burning stomach. So, check in now this moment and see where your digestive system is at. And I recommend that you do that a lot. That's the start of figuring out if something is going not as it should be going. And it is the engine of our whole system. So if we're breaking down foods into substances that can be absorbed and used for energy, growth, of course, also cell growth and so on, repair, very important, and heat, which ultimately is keeping us warm, and also, again, heat creates energy. So we are starting, the anatomy of the digestive system starts at the mouth. So our teeth, the tongue, the salivary glands, the esophagus, stomach, small and large intestine, the rectum and anus. So I'll show you again. So the teeth we know, up here, okay, so this is where we start. And then here we go. We have the stomach, we have the large intestine, and the small one all down here, wiggly diggly. A lot going on. It's, if you stretched it out, it'd be long. I forget how many feet, but look it up. It's really long if you unfolded your colon and your small intestine. Then we have the rectum and anus, and of course the esophagus. So accessory organs we have as well. You have your liver in 2 lobes. We have the gallbladder, and we have the pancreas and the spleen. So first of all, if we go to the mouth, it's really important that we chew really well. And it's really important, therefore, that our teeth are really in good shape. and that there's no pain so that I can chew equally. And you know, also by chewing, the stomach is getting a signal that food is coming, so the digestive juices are starting to flow. That's when you chew a chewing gum sometime, you know, your stomach starts rumbling because it thinks there's food coming and then there isn't. But it starts saliva production, and it is really important so that, you know, you chew your food really well, and like drink your food and chew your drink. So we want it to go to the stomach through the esophagus as small as possible, just to cut down on the work that has to follow on as we go along. So we have the mechanical side of chewing. Then there's enzymes and acids added as well to break down food. In the mouth, we have the amylase enzyme, which starts the breakdown of starch and carbohydrates. And actually, interesting enough, if we mix some foods, like for example, you eat tomatoes with your bread, the tomatoes can actually cut down the amount of amylase, so that the starch digestion process that's supposed to start in the mouth is being reduced, and then if that process isn't happening, you know, we can experience bloatedness, because you know, the process that was supposed to happen hasn't happened 100%. So the esophagus then, also important, that transports food to the stomach through something called peristalsis, and we have several muscles, like our colon does that as well. Peristalsis is literally a squeezing process that moves the food or the substance along, and the same happens in the colon when peristalsis, when we're getting rid of waste. Okay, so then there's your stomach, our stomach, which is a muscular sac with two curvatures, and it has let me see now, I have another page I want to show you. 25, here we go. The stomach is actually only a temporary storage for our food, and it gets churned around. And it begins the digestion process. Of course, we know there's a lot of acid in our stomach. And I'm just looking here at my notes because I can't actually remember everything I wanted to say. So it temporarily stores food, and it begins the digestion process after the start in the mouth with chewing and the amylase, the starch digestion. And it keeps breaking down the food into smaller pieces with gastric acids and moving it then into the small intestine. So from the small intestine, we have three parts in the small intestine. You have the duodenum, and then the jejunum and the ileum. So they're all words that, you know, they're not really important, but, you know, I thought I'd say them anyway because it might bring back biology to you. So the small intestine then completes the digestion, and the food molecules that are now have been broken down, they're now absorbed into the bloodstream. And therefore, it's really important that we have a very healthy small intestine that's colonized really well by good bacteria, because they help in the breakdown completely. And then this is where we absorb our nutrition into the bloodstream. So it gets through the wall of the intestine and into the circulatory system, where it is then delivered to cells and body systems. You know, all the things we need for our tissues and organs to function and to survive. So after the small intestine, we also have, or in the small intestine, I should say, the pancreas. Pancreas is another important add-on organ, if you like, because the pancreas, I'll show you that as well. Let me see. It helps digestion of many substances such as protein, starch, fats, cholesterol, and of course the pancreas completely responsible for the amount of sugar that's stored and released from the liver, you know, so the pancreas has to do a lot of work when we are eating sugars or any sugary substances and carbohydrates in that. So let's have a look here again. So the liver, let me see, where is it? That's the gallbladder, and the pancreas is sitting, let me see, can we see it on this page? I'll show you anyway. Can't see it here. Oh, here it is. Gallbladder. No, can't see it. It's somewhere. I'll show you the whole picture again. But, you know, it's maybe a good time to take responsibility and go onto the internet or your old books and have a look at your digestive system. So if we go from there then, so we've been to the small intestine, and then the large intestine, also known as the colon, is where we complete the absorption of water. So water is absorbed back into the body. That's why it's so important that we drink plenty of water, because water has been reabsorbed into the body. And if we don't take in enough water, our waste material can get harder and harder. And then, of course, that can result in constipation, the peristalsis again, you know, this muscular movement to get the waste out may not be happening because it's too dry. Yeah, and then it gets really, really hard. And, you know, we know what can be very painful. Again, so water intake, really important. And again, the good bacteria helping with the breakdown of waste and getting rid of it. So, and then, of course, feces, to be expelled ideally every day from our body, so that we don't have waste sitting around too long, and you know, then that's when we really start feeling sluggish. Let me see. So if we think about, the liver, of course, has a huge job. It forms the bile, and bile is responsible for breaking down fats, and then that bile is stored in our gallbladder. That one I can actually see here. So the gallbladder is just sitting here. See that under the liver? That's our storage sac for the bile. And people have had their gallbladders removed. You know, you just have to be aware of it, that the liver now has to produce the bile live for the fat digestion, and that's where bitter herbs are also really important. We don't like that bitter taste so much, but bitter herbs increase the production of bile, and they really help in that whole function. So, you know, your dandelion, what's the other one? Nettle, even cacao nibs are fine, are a good bitter. When the body gets these bitter foods, you know, that it helps produce more bile and help in that fat digestion. Of course, the liver stores also vitamins. We know the fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, and E, can store in the liver. So, you know, they are the ones that we have to maybe be a bit careful with taking them. But usually, you know, we wouldn't go mad on any of them. You know, who would do themselves damage by taking vitamins, but just to be aware of. So B and C are the water soluble ones, but the A, D, and E are the fat soluble ones. They're the ones that need fat to be emulsified and also store in our body. The liver also manufactures enzymes and clotting factors, and it activates vitamin D. And we've talked about the gallbladder. Let me see what else I have of interesting information. I think that's really the main thing I wanted to talk to you about. So just a little bit of even becoming conscious of how complex our digestive system is, and, you know, to check in with your digestive system every day, and, you know, to remember how bad it feels, how bad we feel, and what impact it has on our quality of life when our digestive system is sluggish or compromised, because everything else, you know, depends upon it. Energy levels, you know, you may get headaches if there's too much. Hey Tony, how are you doing? You know, we could get headaches from having too many toxins floating around in our body. You know, so the main thing I really want to would love to talk to you about more, and please comment on this video as well. How are you feeling? And what can you do to improve? Certainly anything, and I'm going to ruin Christmas for you now, because what I'd really like you to do is, before you put anything past your lips, anything at all, look at it and think about it and question what it is you're putting into your engine. So basically, stop for a moment, look at your food, think about what's in it, think about where it was, where it came from, what's it made of, and then think about how it will either benefit or not benefit your digestive system, and ultimately your life, your energy levels, your sleep, your ability to be out in public. Because when we have digestive issues, whether that's bloatedness or pain, who would want to go anywhere, travel, if we get maybe diarrhea or feel like irritable bowel, we don't know whether we need to run to the toilet. It's very limiting. It's very limiting in life to have those kind of issues. But it all, I believe, unless of course compromised anatomically or haven't had an illness, our digestive system can regulate itself really well once we feed it good food, nutritious food, unprocessed food, well-cooked food. And I really challenge you to question everything you're putting past your mouth. Question the quality. For me, quality is number one. It's just non-negotiable. It has to be good. Now we can do the 80-20, 80% really good food. For me, rather 90-10, so 10% pigging out or eating something that's not all that great. So, but then definitely come back conscious of having done that 10% of damage and bringing it back to good quality and nutrition and so on. So I would love to hear from you guys. There is going to be a really exciting project happening in the new year. I will have a brand new website with a lot of blog articles on them. I will be doing product reviews. There's a whole new coaching program in the making right now. It's really exciting, and I look forward to it in the new year. And remember our app, if you haven't seen it yet, the link is on previous posts, because the new app, my own new app, has very special offers for loyal customers that the offers are only available to app users. So I want to say thank you again, and another thank you I want to give back to you this week and until the end of the year is we still have our 25% off all our certified organic fruit and veg from all over the world. They taste really wonderful and are full of nutrients. The same applies to our cheeses, organic goat's cheeses, sheep, cow cheeses. So if you feel like really good tasting foods, fully nutritious foods, come on in. And if you have any digestive issues, you know where to find me. So hope to see you, and I want to wish you a very happy Christmas, and I'll check in with you again afterwards. In the meantime, call in, or if you have any digestive issues or questions, just touch base. I'd love to talk to you about it. You know that already. Okay then, over and out, and I shall see you around. Have a wonderful Christmas. Be safe and happy, and bye for now.